Hey, welcome back to the Daily Wrap. It's potluck time. It's the part of the show where we go around the table and share our favorite tales of the day. Heather Hansen, you are up first because, and if I may, that is your best dress so far.
Thank you very much. I'll have to find some more in different colors, right? Those bright colors. My potluck is about the judge who entered the preliminary injunction against the administration for this whole amnesty thing. He is PO'd with the administration right now because he thinks they lied to him. What happened was
overtly is PO'd?
PO'd. He is, you know what, and the thing is, an angry judge can be very dangerous. And this judge is definitely angry and may get more angry on March 19th when that's Judge Hannon. He's the one that entered the injunction that said that the amnesty order cannot go forward. And in the, as we know, President Obama entered this order in November. In December, the plaintiffs filed a lawsuit, 26 states, saying that this can't happen. From December on, judges make schedules, and they say, how long do you need to enter your briefs and so forth. Here, the parties said, well, nothing's going to happen. There's no problem with putting it out a little bit further. So the judge agreed to that, entered his injunction in February. Come to find out last week that the administration actually extended the deferred action for 100,000 people by a year during that period of time. So somebody was telling this judge that there was nothing going on and nothing was changing, while 100,000 people were getting an extra year under the order that the president had passed in November.
Wow.
Now the judge is pushed back everything. He's going to have a hearing on this on March 19th, and he's going to determine whether or not there was actually some malfeasance here, some lying to him. And if there was, they better watch out. But it goes to the point that we've been talking about over this week and over some time, where this administration is not straightforward. They don't tell the truth. They try to sneak things in under the wire, try to sneak things in behind people's backs, and ultimately it has to be our judicial system that steps in. It has to be letters that may not be addressed to the right person in order to make congressmen's views known, rather than handling things pursuant to the law, pursuant to the Constitution.
And you have the evidence that that's what happened here. They lied.
We will know on March 19th.
Well, you're talking like we
well,
already
Rick,
have.
we know for sure that they represented to the judge.
But you just said they're underhanded. You must have the evidence that they lied on purpose.
Maybe their pants are on fire. Liar, liar, pants on fire.
I mean, my answer would have been maybe they did, or maybe the right hand didn't know what the left hand was doing. I'm not quite sure, but I'm not sure how you're reaching all these conclusions when we don't know anything yet.
Well, but we know enough to say that we know that the judge, that they represented to the judge that there's nothing going on, there's no reason, and in fact they asked for more time. They asked for an additional month.
Who's the
and
they?
During the people who represent the administration.
And you've never, as a lawyer, had a case where you didn't know all the data when you made an honest representation to a court.
If you ought to know whether or not your client is doing something that's contrary to what an injunction may possibly be.
100,000 people is it?
100,000 people is it.
They may have outright lied, but we don't know. Why don't we wait for the hearing for all this?
Can we promise to revisit this in, I believe,
March 19th?
March 19th?
Absolutely.
That's not too long away.
Yeah.
Okay, Heather, I'm going to hold you to that. Hank, you're our second chef.
I'm always amazed by what goes on in Russia and related to Russia, and with the murder of the best opponent to Putin, Nemtsov. Today we learn in the Wall Street Journal, big story about how the governor of Chechnya, now an ally of Putin, has decided that we should salute the killers of Nemtsov, which tells you that when George Bush looked into Putin's eyes, he must have seen something the rest of the world didn't, and when Barack Obama said it's going to be fine, he was wrong. This guy is a stone-cold killer. There are no consciences in that part of the world, and when we deal with people there, we need to be very, very careful, more careful than we thought before. And the fact that they have nuclear weapons pointed at us makes it even more dangerous.
Do you think that Ukraine's going to be solved anytime soon? Do you think he's going to be more aggressive? And I'm not saying go to Poland.
I blame Barack Obama for failing to renegotiate the security arrangements with Ukraine and Poland from day one. And the end result is that Putin said, oh yes, I want to get back into Europe like everybody since, let's see, the early czars. I want to go right back into Europe, and the best way to get there is right through Ukraine and right through Poland. If I were the Poles, on account of this and this craziness today, I'd be sweating all night long. And they have every right to feel that way. And this country and this president have let them down significantly.
Well, and
Go ahead.
The fact that they're trying to say that this death was due to some renegade ISIS member who did it on the basis of religion as opposed to something else, it's just absolutely crazy.
Well,
and it's
the
feeding
gun came from heaven, the knives fall from the sky. It's very simple. These things happen. It was just one of those things, a bad break.
I hope nobody expects me to defend Putin. I'm not going to.
But maybe the only way you stop Putin is from within, just like communism failed in the late 80s, because the Russian economy is not doing very well.
No, the economy is a mess. Everything you just said, I think, is exactly right, including Obama's mistake at the outset. Except it's fair to point back that similar mistakes were made going back a little bit.
No question about it.
We have not done a good job in dealing with the Russians. And there may be nothing we can do about it right now.
You're not going to do the next administration.
To your point, the propaganda there is so great that it's going to be really tough to overcome it, I think.
I think we'll be dealing with Mr. Putin for quite some time. He stays in shape, not going anywhere, it appears. So we have to take a quick break, but don't worry. When we come back, we'll have even more potluck for you, including mine. This is the Daily Wrap, only on Newsmax TV. We're on DirecTV. We're on BIOS and Dish as well, from a warm New York City. And welcome back to Daily Wrap. I'm Joe Concha. If you're just joining us, we're in the middle of our potluck, where we're sharing our favorite stories of the day. Rick Unger, I hope you thought something tasty this evening.
I brought a question for everybody. Is it time to put women on money? All these years of having currency, and so far all we have represented on money is a bunch of white men. Now, this is not an original thought. There is an organization out there that is working very hard to make the change there. And interestingly, because what they're proposing doesn't create a new denomination, doesn't have to go to Congress. This can be done by the president without Congress suing him. So the $20 bill is the one that's being targeted with good reason. Andrew Jackson is currently on there, a man who really had little to speak for in his administration except for killing over thousands of Indians in the most inhumane way. And there are a number of women being contemplated as potential replacements. Do we want to show some of those women?
Let's take a look. Ooh.
Oh, that's Rosa Parks. That would be a great choice.
Rick. Good choice.
Yeah. Who else do we have? Oh, Eleanor Roosevelt.
Wow, but
Big
who would be
fan.
the best
She
choice,
too. Who
Rick?
would be the best choice? Let's see who would be. Oh, my goodness. My goodness.
Look at that.
Isn't that
It's
wonderful?
our own Heather Hansen.
Well,
Isn't
now,
that just the
obvious.
sweetest thing? Yeah.
Well, you know what? Whether it be Heather Hansen, Eleanor Roosevelt, Rosa Parks, is it time to put women on money?
I don't like the idea of taking Andrew Jackson off. I disagree
Why?
Listen, I think that he's part of our history. His supporters started the Democratic Party, which is the party
I
that,
understand, but he was a bad dude.
Well, but you
Why do
can
we
look
wanna
back
honor
on
him?
a lot of people in our history and say that. But let's take that aside. I do like the idea of adding women to this part of our history. I also think if you look at that website, it's Women on 20s, I
Yes,
think is what it
yes,
is,
yes.
and see the list of women.
Yeah.
It's a great study of female history
Of
and the
important
different
women in
who,
America.
and many names that you might recognize and not remember what it is that they did. I actually went through each woman on the list to make sure that I knew who they were, and it was a good way for me to sort of remember women influence.
Was there a certain presidential potential candidate on there named Carly who should be on the $20 bill? Because we know you're a big fan.
I bring her up
Actually,
a lot.
former
No,
HP
definitely
CEO.
not.
She's
Definitely
already
not.
on her own money.
Oh, she is?
Yeah, I've seen
She's
it.
her own
Yeah.
I want to go back to this thing about bashing, Jackson. He could dance well. He was a good dancer.
He was a good
He
dancer.
had good
Dancer
dancer.
at parties.
He was
Well,
very
in
good at
that case,
parties.
we
Brought
take
in
it
the
all
barrels
back.
of booze.
Take it all back.
He knew Fred Astaire well. They used to Ginger Rogers. They were friends together. And, come on,
They hung out
getting
at the
women on.
Stork Club,
They hung
yeah.
around together. They killed storks together at the Stork Club, which is why it was called the Stork Club. No, seriously. I mean, yeah, getting women on money, good idea. Question is who. Heather would be, great. I mean,
Perfect.
but Rosa Parks would be terrific.
I like Eleanor
And there are
Roosevelt.
certainly other women,
Yeah.
Sure.
Betsy Ross would be the best.
Yeah.
Betsy
Harriet
Ross, very,
Tubman.
very good point. Very good point. And a preview of yay or nay. Yay for Heather Hansen
Yay.
on a $1 bill for other
Oh,
reasons.
nice.
So,
$1.
finally, it's my turn. And growing stupidity of criminals in America, we're going to talk to you about tonight. Nobody likes criminals, but stupid criminals are a whole different story. Take, for instance, this 21-year-old Nebraska genius who decided to hide his 11.6 grams of weed in a Land O'Lakes sour cream container and marked it not weed. Yes. When asked why he would do such a thing, a 21-year-old simply answered, quote, "I don't know, I just thought I was being funny. Inside joke of myself, I guess." It certainly was. An inside joke. Well, we all certainly got a good laugh at his stupidity, but I wonder if his parents think he's so hilarious. The jokester was cited and released for possession of less than an ounce of marijuana. How about this next duo? The Roman Coliseum has seen some pretty gruesome things in its day, but can it stand up to two American tourists tourists, 2 female 20-something tourists from California, decide to leave their mark on the ancient structure, but not with a boring old selfie, oh no, which they managed to take, don't worry. Nope, the pair decided to carve their initials into the wall of the Colosseum. The pair apologized, saying, we, and this is a quote, apologize for what we did, we regret it, but we did not imagine it was something so serious we'll remember for a lifetime. Word of advice, when apologizing, never use the B word. And I wonder if they think this is serious. Instead of, a slap on the wrist, probably should have to be enslaved and then fight for their death. Fight to the death, just like Russell Crowe did in Gladiator. So, anyway, just an excuse to show Gladiator, guys. Who are we kidding? Finally, this guy takes the cake. A 39-year-old Ohio man actually called 911 to report that his wife was trying to steal his cocaine from him. Take a listen.
Alliance Police and Fire, where's your emergency? What's going on?
I don't know, me and my lady's having a misunderstanding about something I bought. I bought some cocaine earlier, and she wanted to take my cocaine, and then she wanted to treat me like
Okay, so now hopefully you're following. Not only did he openly admit that he was in possession of cocaine, he was charged with 2 misdemeanors, drug possession, and inappropriate use of 911, you think? The best part is that when cops came by, they discovered he already had a warrant for his arrest for 2013 and failing to pay hundreds of dollars in earlier court cases and failing to appear for community service. Come on, guys, you could do better than this. So that is my potluck. We are getting stupider by the day, especially our criminals. Anyway, that's all for Potluck. Yay or Nay is next. This is the Daily Wrap, only on Newsmax TV.